I'm going to show you how I made this miniature flooring from real pine, which you can use in your 1/12 scale miniature projects. And I'm going to be putting a link at the end of this video that all you need to do is click it if you want to see how I painted and finished this miniature screen door on the back of the house. So let's get started. I'm building this 1/12 scale model of a Sears kit house. Between 1908 and 1942, Sears was selling houses in kits, which customers could assemble themselves. The kits would be shipped to the customer by rail in 30,000 pieces, and the customers would assemble the houses themselves, which took approximately 3 months. I'm going to be making the flooring for this house using real pine. I'll be doing a future video that's more in depth about this project, and I'll be sharing my lessons learned so that you don't have to repeat my mistakes when you're building your models. So consider subscribing if you don't want to miss this video. I'm trying to make the model as authentic as possible, so I'm framing the miniature house rather than using solid pieces of wood or foam board. Sears was a pioneer, and many of their building innovations are still used today, like balloon framing. I'll pop a link in the description to the video I did about balloon framing so you can check it out later. This was one of Sears' building innovations that changed the way we build houses to this very day. According to the catalog, this house would have had yellow pine floors. I'm going to show you how I made these miniature floors that I'm going to be using in my 1/12 scale miniature house using real pine. I'll also be doing a few other small jobs that need to be completed at the back portion of the house where the kitchen pantry and the bedroom closet are located. I measured the size of the flooring in this area. I'll be applying the finished pine flooring over the subfloor, which I made out of popsicle sticks. I'm cutting out some poster board to the same dimensions of the floor that I'm going to be laying. The poster board will act as an underlay for the wood flooring that I'm going to be making. I measured and laid out the floor area on the poster board using a straight edge. Using some scissors, I cut the cardboard template for the flooring. I placed the template on the area where the flooring will be installed, and I trimmed off the excess portions to create a template the exact size I need. I left a bit of space around the doorways because the floor leading into the rest of the kitchen will be a separate piece of wood. The floors between rooms would normally be connected with a transition strip in the middle of the doorway, and when all the flooring is completed, I'll add a little wooden transition strip that'll really finish it off. Using some scissors, I cut out the excess cardboard to get my template the exact shape I need. I taped another piece of poster board and used some painter's tape in the areas where I cut too much off to get the exact shape of the floor that I require. I used a Sharpie marker to trace the inside walls or where the walls are so I could trim the excess poster board. The flooring will go up to the walls but not underneath the walls, or at least not the outside walls. The flooring will run under the wall that divides the kitchen pantry from the bedroom closet. This will all be one piece of wood. Here you can see the outline of the walls on my template. I purchased some pine veneer and I'm going to be using it for the actual wooden floor. If you're enjoying this video, please hit the like button and maybe even consider subscribing. That'd be awesome. As a new YouTuber, it really helps me out. I cut the veneer using a utility knife and a metal square to ensure a perfect 90-degree angle. I scored the wood several times to make sure it would break off in a nice clean cut. I placed my cardboard template on top of the pine veneer. Make sure you mark the top of the template because the top of the template must be face down on the veneer, which will be the bottom of the wood floor. I used some glue to attach the wood to the cardboard. I then placed the flooring and the cardboard into two pieces of wood and used clamps to hold everything together. The boards and clamps will keep the flooring flat while the glue dries. Once the glue dried, I removed the clamps. The cardboard was now glued to the wood veneer. I used some scissors and carefully cut the excess veneer around the cardboard template. I cut the indented portions of the template using my utility knife where I couldn't easily use scissors. I checked to make sure that the wooden flooring fit properly on the house model. I put some markings approximately ½ an inch apart on the side of the wooden flooring. I used a nail set to draw lines across the floor to represent the individual boards. I applied some pressure to the nail set and used my straight edge to score some lines into the piece of pine. These indentations will make the floor appear to be made of separate boards by giving the floor a little more depth. At various spots, I scored some lines in the opposite direction, which would represent the ends of the floorboards. I had some wood stain left that I'd used to paint my backyard fence last year, which I decided to use to stain the pine. It's always a good idea to take a small piece of wood and put some stain on it before you actually stain your project. That way you can see what the wood will look like when it's stained. I used a brush to apply the stain. The stain's not water soluble, and rather than cleaning the brush, I'll just throw it out when I'm done. A helpful little trick I use: I buy cheap brushes from the dollar store for purposes like these, and when you're finished with the brushes, you just need to throw them away. It's a lot easier than trying to clean them and reuse them again. The color looked pretty good. I'm using some spray-on glue and I'm applying it to the cardboard side of the flooring, and I'm affixing it to the subfloor of the model. I used some parchment paper to cover the flooring just in case there was any excess glue on the flooring. I didn't want it to stick to the veneer and damage it when I was removing the clamps. This will help ensure that the flooring dries flat. I had another couple of jobs I had to get done. The wall which divides the kitchen pantry from the bedroom closet has some rough edges on it, so I'm going to use my sander to make these edges smooth. The edges of these walls will be painted, so I want to make sure that they have a nice smooth finish without any rough edges. I decided to make the wall assembly removable. This way, I'll be able to remove it and put items into the kitchen pantry and the bedroom closet. So these red lines show the wall assembly that will be removable so that you can see into the pantry and into the bedroom closet. And this is the wall which I just sanded, which divides the kitchen pantry from the bedroom. I'm going to use some white paint on the edges of these walls. The walls in the kitchen pantry and closet will be a basic white and will be made from cardboard. The walls in the pantry and closet will be covered in cardboard. This cereal box I found is perfect for the job because the inside of the cardboard is actually white. Sears was a pioneer and had many building innovations that they used in their kit houses, which made building much simpler. One of them was to use gypsum board rather than plastering the walls, but I'll talk about that more in a future video. You can see the inside of this cardboard box. It's lined with white cardboard. It's going to be perfect. I let the glue on the floor dry overnight and I removed the bar clamps. I think the floor came out great. I really like the color. For the next task, I'll need a really sharp blade on my utility knife. I retracted the blade up to the breaking point on the blade and snapped it off using a pair of pliers. You just need to break off the last tip of the blade and you'll have a really sharp blade to use. Always make sure you dispose of the blades carefully so that nobody cuts themselves on the sharp pieces of blade. I usually use some tape and tape the blade inside like this so that there are no sharp edges exposed. Now that the floor is securely glued to the subfloor, I'm going to use my utility knife and a straight edge to cut some lines into the flooring where the grooves are indicating the individual boards. I then used my nail set to enhance the cuts in the wood, making the floor appear that it was made out of individual pieces of pine rather than just one piece. I think it looks pretty good. This is the removable wall assembly I mentioned earlier. And there you have it. We see the pantry vents, we have the pine flooring, and it's looking pretty good. Hey, why don't you check out this video about how I painted the screen door on the back of the house? We'll see you in the next video.